Earbuds, Melbourne's podcast network. Earbudsnetwork.com.
Are you the kind of person who drops off a friend and waits until they're inside before you drive off? Well, if you've thought about this, then you're in good company. We're going to be talking about these kinds of insignificant social conventions, heartwarming stories from our past, and maybe even a live sketch or two. So grab your knitting needles, a blanket, and join me, Dion, under the covers, along with Christian.
Welcome to Patchwork.
And Josh.
Welcome to Patchwork.
Now, before we get started, the other night we were coming back from a recording and Christian was sort of saying to me, look, we should probably stop by my grandparents' place. And immediately I seized up because I've never been over to another person's grandparents' place, let alone grandparents that are from such a different ethnicity.
Was that actually a thought you had?
Yes, it was at the
I've
time.
never visited another grandparent's house.
Yeah, it's because I guess visiting my grandparents was such a familiar thing when I was younger. And so entering another person's sphere was such a strange experience. But I guess what was even stranger was the 4 gates that your grandparents had before I actually entered their house. It was really odd. So there was, I think there were 4. Count 4. Let's round up to 10.
I could tell that Dion was very nervous because he kind of just went quiet and then started asking questions like, "Do I need to do anything different?"
Well, I guess I didn't know how to greet them, so I sort of said to Christian, "How do I greet them?" And Christian said, "Look, my nonna will probably try and kiss you." I was like, "Oh,
Kiss you
okay."
where?
Yeah. So anyway, so the door flung open. I was immediately greeted. Yeah, flung open. And I kissed your nonno.
Yeah. But you gotta preface it by saying that I did tell Dion that as a sign of respect, you go for the kiss on both cheeks.
Yeah, that's true.
And what relationship does this apply to?
So I don't kiss my nonno on both cheeks. This is for strangers coming into his house.
So how many cheeks and how many kisses do you do, Chris?
His nonna just has one cheek, I think.
Yeah. No,
She turned the other way.
What's customary? So it's customary to kiss someone that you don't know, right?
Well, in Italy, everyone kisses each other on the cheeks.
Right.
Multiple cheeks.
Yeah. So anyway, so I went up to him. ready to go in for the kiss, and he just stuck out his hand.
He fist bumped Dion.
Anyway, so I walked in.
So
and
did you go in for the kiss?
I kind of no. I think he got.
Actually, no. I'll ask Christian that because Christian seems to know.
Dion is playing this so cool. You were so nervous about having to kiss my nonno.
I know.
And you weren't sure about what to do, whether to put your hand out. And there's kind of this moment where you leant in a little bit and he extended his hand out and just this wave of relief over Dion's face.
It was very strange. But anyway, I walked in and greeted with everything was sort of... I felt like I was in sort of heaven. Everything was marble. It felt like... I don't even know if it's true, but it was like white tiled floors and there was fine china in glass cases.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
we walked through and everything... I think it's the cleanest residence I've ever seen. And for me to notice that is a big deal.
The room that Dion was first greeted by hasn't had a footstep in it for about 7 years.
Is that the drawing room, is it? That you draw the people into when they enter the house?
Oh, is that why it's called
Not
that?
for illustrators, no.
It's I think the technical term in Italian culture is formal lounge dining.
Anyway, so Christian sort of prepped me before and he kind of said, look, just talk to him about the garden. He loves talking about the garden. Anyway, we made our way into the kitchen. I spotted the Holy Grail, which is in an Italian grandparents' place, the coffee machine. But I was quite surprised that it was sort of a new coffee machine. I thought it would be an older style one where he'd grind it or something. But then I asked Christian, like, is it a good coffee machine? And Christian was like, yeah, it's okay. I just would have thought that they would have had the best coffee machine because presumably they're drinking the stuff.
You want
like
an
water.
old, really good coffee machine.
Yeah.
They had a new good one and that was disappointing.
No, it was a new average one. It wasn't capsule, was it?
No, it wasn't capsule, but
No,
all
no.
it did was just make espresso. That's all they want. They're no fuss. They don't care. They just want to press a button, the coffee to come out, and that's it.
And so that's what happened. The button was pressed. We walked outside, and he showed me his garden. How old is he? He'd be 86 or something.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, and he's showing me around the garden. He's very proud of it. We walk back in, and suddenly I hear this rustling of plastic, and it's his grandmother bringing out the panettone.
Oh,
Yeah,
the famed panettone.
Yeah.
Which I said to Dion was something that he should consider himself very privileged to have
It
experienced.
was so strange because Christian was like, "Oh, she's bringing out the panettone," and I sort of felt like, "Okay, it's fruitcake. That's fine."
Not even no, Dion, please. Let's be honest about this. Not only did you get panettone, now I'll probably clarify this for Dion because I don't think you understand. In their cupboards, they would have had several panettone, but what they grabbed for Dion was the fresh panettone.
But why do you think, like, what do you think of that? Do you think there was like an element of pride of having me in the house?
Absolutely.
Or like, did you prep them that I was like a Jew and it's
I
like this
don't
Jew coming to
know.
the house, we want a fresh panettone?
Just someone under 70.
Oh yeah, they're trying to encourage people into the house.
No, but I don't think you understand. For a grandchild to bring their friend to the grandparents' house, it's so rare that they have to put a bit of a show on to show that they're still a bit cool, still with it.
Did you end up checking the box for any initials, Dion? For the panettone, just to see whose Christmas gift it was that you were receiving?
But it was interesting because I would say that 60% of the conversation was around the fruitcake.
Yeah.
But it was really nice. Like it was good. It was a fruitcake. But anyway, so it was a lovely experience. As I said, it was if you just imagine the cleanest, whitest house in the world, that one's it. And as we were leaving, I was like, goodbye, thanks so much for having me. There was a copy of, I think it was like Woman's Day on the stairs. I didn't really understand what that was about.
It's just a magazine. At the end of the day, they're still people.
And as I was leaving, I said, look, thanks so much for having me. So I went up to your nonna and gave her a kiss on both cheeks. Went up to your nonna.
Learnt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Went up to your nonna and went the wrong way. So I've been doing this lately. I've been
Yeah.
going right rather than left, and we nearly locked lips.
It was a very strange moment where I thought Dion was making out with my granddad.
But we worked it out, and there was sort of a very friendly exchange, and I'll probably never go back there again.
And you're not going
How
to.
did he do, Christian, overall? Like,
To be honest-
when you sort of said, all right, Dion is going to be coming over to this house, this is my expectation, how did he fare up to that?
So I think that it's always a nerve-wracking experience bringing any friend home to whether it's your grandparents or your parents because they're going to judge you based on that person that you bring there. They're going to finally get a glimpse into you in your personal life. So when I brought Dion over, all I wanted was just for you to be normal.
Yeah.
Just so they don't... Because you're not Johnny Sanchez in an Adidas tracksuit where they're going to go, oh, he's that kind of kid.
Yeah, okay.
Just normal Dion. And you did really well.
That is so nice to hear. That's such a beautiful thing to hear. I was not expecting that.
But what I really loved was that you respected my nonno and what he had to say, irrespective of how much he rambled.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You have to respect these people. They've been alive for so much longer than us. It doesn't matter if they're very, very strong conservatives. You have to
Doesn't it
respect
matter?
them.
So age instantly deserves respect in your book.
In a way, I guess you like experience counts for something. You don't think it does?
I don't think you instantly have to respect someone just because they're old.
No, you don't. No, that's true.
Wait a second. Don't respect your elders.
No, it's not about disrespecting your elders. It's respect your elders if they've earned it. That's what it is.
I know. I take a position of innocent until proven guilty here. So when I'm first coming into contact with an old person, immediately I respect them.
is up. Okay.
Okay, so I come in with a high threshold of
Yeah, that's
respect.
fine.
It's up to them to drop that level.
So, yeah, because I'm coming in at you better earn the respect, old person.
Really? So you think an old person owes you respect? How old do you think you are?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't think. No, but your point. I'm not necessarily having a go at your grandpa, Christian. That's just.
I
a
better
general
hope not.
statement. I've never met the man. He hasn't earned my respect yet. But I was more countering Dion's point. I don't think you get automatic respect as an elder.
I've actually got an interesting question for you, Christian. Would you have been comfortable taking Josh to see your grandparents?
Yeah. Thanks, mate. Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah. What a great normal friend Josh is.
Christian's answer was yeah.
I would, depending on what he was wearing on the day.
Are you serious?
If you were dressed normally, if you're okay, so
What's my abnormal dress?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
If your clothes were corresponding in colours, I would bring you. But sometimes you make
That's
weird
not
fashion
true.
choices
Amazing.
where
Really?
the colours are slightly off, and I think my grandparents would probably judge you for that.
What
Christian.
outfit are you talking about?
You know when you wear your pink pants and your pink t-shirt.
At my costume parties,
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Really? So you've noticed that Josh dresses in a sort of a floral arrangement? Sort of
No, I just think that
colours.
sometimes the colours don't match.
He's just saying I don't have style. That's what he's saying.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel like you have style?
The times when I care about it, I dress up quite
That's
nicely,
true.
I think. But for the most part, I don't really care that much. So
And that's the key.
See, the men in the Factor family have never given a shit. I feel like up until me, they've never given a shit about
big
how
up
they
for
dress.
Dion.
Yeah, well, at least they don't wear pink with pink, mate.
Hang on, what are you saying you're particularly fashionable as well? You're just as bad as Josh.
I think I've dressed pretty well, don't I? I don't care that much about how I dress, but I think I dress pretty well.
I think that's the key.
Do you think you dress well in your Adidas?
Sorry, I know that I dress well.
Really? Who told you that? Your mum, the same person that told you you were funny?
Yeah, it's weird. I honestly expected to recognize less people, but I just feel like 10 years isn't that long.
Yeah, it's been 10 years since we all saw each other pretty much. Like, it's such a weird reunion. It's such an odd sort of place to meet.
Have you been seeing anyone, like kind of in
Nah,
between?
I don't keep in touch with anyone.
hey
like, from
guys,
school.
how are ya?
Hey.
How good is this? How awesome is everything here?
Yeah, it's great. We haven't had a chance to chat or anything.
No, I've got to go soon. But I mean, they've put on a great spread, haven't they?
Yeah. The food's fantastic.
Yeah, it tastes really good.
Yeah, I don't know what it tastes like, but man, it looks amazing. I got some great photos.
Oh,
it's
that's awesome.
incredible.
Yeah, nice.
But I've got to go off to an engagement party.
Sure.
But if you guys, while we've got everyone here,
Yeah.
why don't we just get a group photo of everyone again?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, great idea, man.
I can
Yeah,
chuck
that's
it up on social media and everyone can get in touch. And
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Yeah,
All
cool. All right, everyone in?
Hey,
All right, 3,
beauty.
2, 1. Good one.
Hey.
Okay, cool.
Great.
Can I just have a look at that?
Yeah.
It was
go
really
for
good
it.
seeing you though, man. Like, it's been ages.
Sorry, we couldn't do that again, could we, guys? Just can we get everyone back in, please?
Yeah,
Um,
I guess.
And I guess Joel, you didn't graduate with us, though, did you? Because I know you
Yeah,
were
no, I had the year in Japan.
yeah, you dropped
Yeah.
down, so we actually didn't
Actually, I got to
graduate
tell you that
with
story
you.
about Japan.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is that you didn't really graduate with us. So why don't you just take the photo?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Just let him be in the photo.
Oh no,
like,
he can take the photo, and he's still part of it. He's
I'm still
taking
part
the
of
photo.
it. Great.
Yeah, no, you're still part of it. Just take the photo. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Okay.
thanks.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
And just make sure you keep it square for Instagram.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
cool.
All right, everyone.
Actually,
a
can we
little
just
bit closer?
move? Yeah, and can we just move over towards the window, guys? You got a bit
shuffle,
better
shuffle,
light. Yeah,
shuffle
cool.
across.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Hey.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. Well, I'll just give you guys my social media handles, and you can just send me the. Actually, can I have a look at the photo?
Well, we should just catch up or something. Like, don't worry about.
Oh, just follow me on social media. You'll find me easily. Can I just have a look at the photo? Oh,
yeah.
hang on. Is this iPhone 8?
Yeah, man.
It's like the newest one.
Literally just got it.
Yeah, they just launched it. It looks fucking
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, guys. Sorry, guys. Can we just take another one? You just take my iPhone 10. Can we get another one? Thanks, guys. We recently had the Melbourne Cup here in Melbourne, and we had the public holiday. And I traditionally, in my old house, used to always host a big Halloween party on Cup Eve because it was the public holiday the next day. So this year, we weren't doing a party, and so me and my two old housemates, Emma and Georgia, we decided to go out for some drinks and reminisce about our old shithole house that was dreadful. And it was really fun to go back and think about this house. It was one of those typical old shitty houses in Richmond, quite worn down, carpets really old. Carpets so old that when we did the final carpet clean, the guy who came through the professional, he was like, "Oh, look, that's the best I can do." And like, "Oh, that's fair." It's like, "Yeah, look, most carpets, you keep them, 10 or 15 years and then you probably get rid of them." I'm like, "Oh yeah, how old do you reckon these are?" He's like, "Oh, about 30. So
He could tell
Yeah.
just by looking at the
yeah, they're
carpet.
filthy carpets.
It was the lines around the bits of cotton.
So it was also owned by this old, I think it was either Greek or Italian, and I've actually forgotten my brain what his name was, whether it's Danny or Dennis, because one of our neighbours referred to his name incorrectly once, and so we just found that really funny. Like, oh, he thinks it's Dennis. So then we're like, oh, is it Danny or Dennis? I can't remember what his name was.
Did he correct them?
Nah.
Oh, just went on.
Yeah, just went with it. So the owner always used to come around. So he'd be like, oh, I come around, and he'd knock on the door. It's like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I've come to clean the gutters. And it got to the point where I was so fed up with this guy coming around to our house all the time. I was like, you don't live here anymore. I was like, you need to call the agent if you want to book an appointment to clean the gutters.
So he would arrive unexpected.
Yes.
Just no 24-hour
He
warning.
lived around the corner. So he'd just pop round. I'd be sitting in my room. I could see out the front. Occasionally, you'd see him just walking past, like pretending not to look. I just got to stand and look at the house and go, I wonder what I can do. The
That's
apricot
so
tree.
strange.
I need to. And so he'd always just be popping in. One time, there's a sideways alley down the side of the house. One of the girls has her bedroom there with the window. She was doing her makeup in front of the window, and this whole Greek guy just pops out in front of
And
her.
he offered her like a powder palette or something.
It's like, oh my God. One of the biggest issues we had with the house, though, was an electronic issue, which I didn't realize was an electronic issue until many days. So the light switch to go into the bathroom, you'd have to kind of reach around the corner with your hand in an awkward angle to switch it on. So you're kind of just flicking your hand around, reaching awkwardly.
Yeah, sure.
And for a few days, I started to feel this weird twinge when I reached, and I thought, oh, that's just my hand bending in a weird way to flick it.
God.
I was like, okay, that's weird. And then like 2 days later, my housemate goes, are you guys getting electric shocks from the bathroom switch? And I was like, oh, that's what that is. That's not my arm bending. That's an electric shock. So we rang him up to try and get it finished. So Dennis or Danny, whatever his name was, he obviously doesn't want to pay for anything for this house.
Yeah.
So I think it was about a week after this had occurred, it got to the point where we sticky taped a rubber glove over the switch because we all kept forgetting and automatically kept touching this switch and shocking
So
us.
did you put your hand in the glove and then flick the switch?
No, it was very crudely just taped over the
that's
top. We just
great.
flicked it on and off. So he comes around about a week and a half later. I'm home. They're like, oh, Danny's going to come around. I go, okay, all right. So he's going to, do whatever. Opens the door. He's got his electrician friend there who looks, and he was about 90. This is the oldest guy I've ever seen. He's got this brown satchel bag with these just loose wires sticking out of it. He's an electrician. And he's
Starting fires as he walks down the
Are you sure he wasn't a cyborg?
And so he comes in. This is how old this guy is. He's got wooden tools. I was like, okay, great, awesome. So he comes in, and the first thing to do is my power socket. So he comes in to do that, and I'm standing there, and as soon as I open the door, I was like, and then Dennis is there as well, and I just want to go, you don't need to be here. You can get out of the house.
Yeah, no.
And so and then I just was like, are you an electrician? And he goes, I was.
Okay. They took away me tools.
So I was like, how long ago was this? So I don't have my license anymore. And I just said to them both, get out. Just get out. I'm not getting this work done by an unverified electrician. I don't want this house to burn down. So we got him kicked out.
What was the reaction when you told him to get out of the house?
It was literally, oh, yeah, fair enough. Because the agent, the agent had been trying to get this through his brain, being like, you can't just go over to the house all the time. You don't live there anymore. You're renting it out. That's how this system works.
I've still got in my head what these wooden tools look
Yeah,
like.
yeah, I
I can't
know.
get like a pair of scissors made of wood that just sort of clap together.
Sounds like you had more of a vampire issue than anything else.
You had a ring of garlic. as well.
God. So what did you do?
So also that happened a few days after that, we were due for the annual inspection. So the agent came round with Dennis again to do the annual inspection. This still hadn't been fixed. We've been talking to them like, you need to fix this thing that is electrocuting us. They come through the house.
Amazing question to have to ask.
The agent does the classic thing of, oh, yeah, that's a bit weird. What's the glove on the thing for? He's like, because it's electrocuting us. That's why. And she's like, oh, that's not really great when you come through and one of your clients has got a thing and they're getting. And it's like, yeah, we told you about this 2 weeks ago and you still haven't fixed it.
Isn't it amazing that agents, landlords will just let you live in unfathomably bad circumstances?
It's like literally one of the worst things. We are getting electrocuted by this thing.
Maybe there's something about being an agent or a landlord. Maybe there's something about that power or something that makes you just be rubbish. Like, I wonder if maybe I'd be really shit at it.
It's because it's a job for them, whereas it's
Yeah.
our lives. When I first moved
it's
into my place, I didn't have a light in my room. We didn't have a functioning shower. And it took them 3 weeks to get it fixed.
A shower?
I used to drive from my place back here. So it was a 20-minute drive just to have a shower.
For the record, I'm still thinking about the wooden tools.
That would help fix the shower in no time.
The wooden tools make sense, though. They don't conduct
For
electricity.
electricity, yeah,
it
maybe
makes
he's
no
not
sense.
so
They're just going to be
dumb as well.
totally useless, and you'd have to replace them every 2 weeks. Although it doesn't sound like he's getting much work, so they probably lasted a bloody lifetime.
So it took them 3 weeks to fix yours. We were 2 weeks in with this. We kept calling up, and then we got this great person on the phone who worked at the agency going, look, if you call after 5, this isn't considered an emergency, and they'll just send someone out and they'll have to reimburse you. If you call during the hours, they have to go through the landlord. So it was awesome. So we got this advice of just call out at hours and they'll send someone straight away. Because the guy was like, that's insane. Why? How are you living like that? So then they just sent a guy, like a 24-hour guy came out. And I'm like, that probably cost Dennis a lot more money, which I was really happy with. And now it's time for Oh Wow of the Week.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. The singer Dido's full name is Dido Florian Cloud de Bunviel O'Malley Armstrong.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
One of the benefits of living in such a shitty house like that, though, is that when you hold house parties, you just don't care at all.
Yeah.
So we used to hold these rages like biannual. Is that two a year?
Yeah, it's 2 a year, yeah.
This is a biannual house party. And just the layers of gunk and crap that got on the walls and stuff. You go, I'm not cleaning that off. Like, it completely doesn't matter. There was one party, I remember this was before my time, because this house was in our group of friends for 6 or 7 years before my time. There was one house where they were trying to reheat and cook some frozen party pies and sausage rolls. So they tried to use the oven, which wasn't working for some reason. So they were trying to light it with a lighter. So they turned the gas on and someone just dropped the lighter down there and went, oh, well, and just left. And then they ended up cooking them on the fire out the back. But then the guy who lived there, Nick, was like, we can't just leave a lighter down the back of an oven, okay? So then he's down there for 20 minutes with his phone, like scrambling around trying to get this thing. Oh my God. The house is a mess. And I remember this is great. We did jelly shots one year. And at one point, someone came through like a tray and someone just threw their hand up and just snocked the tray. So there's just jelly shots just all whooshed into the carpet. And they're like, I guess that's staying. That's fine. No problems with that.
I love the idea of just leaving the place after you break a window and not having to deal with it.
Well, it was so... But as we got older, we all moved out and lived in different houses and that kind of thing. And you realize there's this moment where all of your friends, maybe they're coupling off or whatever, but they start to move into nicer houses and nicer places. Yeah. And then the thing becomes, I don't have a massive house party in this house. It's too nice. So we were sort of lamenting, this is a few years after we'd moved out of that shithole. We were like lamenting the fact, like, oh man, we just want to have, we had, a shithole we lived in. We all live in 2 nice places. And one of our friends goes, I live in a shithole. Oh. So she was like, do you want to host a party at my house? We're like, yes, sweet.
What was the party like?
It was awesome. It was a Halloween one and it was a beautiful house for it. So we came there and just sort of would like, oh, can we do this? And we put that there and we'll do that there. It'll be great. But one thing that did happen at this house party was that she had these, I don't even know what they were. They look like gelatin marbles. They were in a big bowl. So it's like an ornament that you have on a coffee table or a dresser.
I know those things. Yeah, they're really weird. I don't know what they're for.
Yeah, they're like wet to touch, but you like pick them. They're like kind of like little marbles, but they're like plastic and
No, you've lost me. I thought we were on the same page.
Hang on. Describe them again, Josh.
Wet marbles.
So they're the size of marbles, and you can run your hand through them.
And they're a bit wet.
They're kind of, gelatinous.
Are they grapes?
No, they look exactly like marbles. But the thing is, an ornament, right? Just an ornament. Someone at the party went, oh, delicious party snack.
Oh, no.
And like ate some of them.
Oh, it's so
And the host was like, did someone eat some of these?
They noticed that they were missing.
I love the idea of the host trying to be cool about that. Like, did someone eat some of my ornaments?
Yeah, it's not like these are missing. It's someone consumed them in their bowels.
Happy birthday to you.
Hip hip.
Hooray!
Hip hip.
Hooray!
Hip hip.
Hooray!
Hey, well done, Rollo.
Go on, mate.
All right.
Hey.
Rollo.
Got them all out in one.
Actually, couldn't do that again, could we, guys? Just I didn't quite get the photo of the candles.
Oh, no, don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it. It's fine.
No, it's not for you. Look, if we can just light the candles again, just get to blow them out again.
I'm pretty sure Maria, did you get that?
Yeah. She got it. She definitely got it.
No, that's
mate.
fine, but
All good.
I need one as well. Look, I just want to capture the moment, so if we can just light the candles again, it'll be great. So we'll just light them up again and blow it out again. 2 seconds.
Nah, mate, I've already made my wish. Don't worry
Get
about
a
it.
second wish. That's the beauty of this. It's great. Come on, look, just light them up quickly.
Yeah.
It'll be really quick.
Yeah,
Light 'em up.
I've got them.
Cool.
Okay.
One.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Is that fine? Is the photo fine? Surely it's fine. We can party now, right?
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Look, do you mind if... Could we just get your daughter just to get out of the frame, please? And actually, if you wouldn't mind, do you guys have like a spotlight or something we could get? And maybe you could change your shirt.
The other night I was leaving my mum's house, which is this house, after I came and visited her. And as I was in my car, I turned the engine on. And I normally like to get myself ready for the trip home. So I'll put my maps on. I'll
Plug the phone in.
phone in.
Yeah.
I'll
Pick a track.
Pick a good track to start with.
Turn the lights on.
Yeah, make sure that the temperature's great. Just there's a good
Vacuum the car.
there's a good 3-4 minutes that I'd like to of routine that I'd like to go through before I start driving away, and I also like to make sure that the engine is warm. But it was about 2 minutes into my routine, and I kind of looked right, and I realized my mum was still standing at the door and kind of still waving to me.
Waving the whole time.
And I was like, why haven't you gone inside? What are you waiting for? So I, out of this feeling of pressure, put my window down, was like, bye. I drove around the corner, stopped and finished my routine off.
So you don't do that same thing for other people?
Well, I used to, but recently I've just found that just close the door. Get in and get out.
So this is when someone's leaving your house.
Yeah, when someone's leaving my house, I'm happy to just close the door behind myself.
Yeah, I do that. It's completely flipped, though, if I'm dropping someone off.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm dropping someone off, I will always wait for them to go inside.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
I would never have guessed that in a million years that you would do that.
Really?
So what's your reason for doing that? Is it a safety thing?
It's a weird thing because, like, yeah, I guess it is mainly I probably do they have their keys? Have they forgotten their keys or not?
Why the hell would they have forgotten their keys?
Because some people are fucking idiots.
Yeah. No, I'm with Josh. There's this sense of there's this security of watching them go inside that perhaps between leaving your car and getting inside that something can happen to them.
yeah.
But they'll give you a call if they've lost it, or if they lost their phone as well.
It's a smart house. They can't get it.
So you'll drop someone. I don't reckon you've ever waited for me, and I'm probably the most likely out of all your friends to have left their keys at home.
But you live in an apartment at the back of a building. I'm not going to wait for that. As soon as you're out of vision, that's fine.
I'd appreciate it if you waited for it.
Oh, really? Maybe I'll drive right up to your bloody front door
Yeah,
and
I've been wanting you to do that for ages.
carry you over the threshold. Is that a wedding, isn't it? You know when you're walking with the bride? That's what I was getting at. Me carrying Dion like a bride.
Oh,
But
Over the threshold.
over the threshold's a
of the
turn of
house.
phrase. Christian, you've been a bride before. Have you been ever carried over the threshold?
No, they couldn't lift me off the ground.
But you don't wait, Dion.
No, I don't really. I don't think it's necessary. If someone is leaving my house, I'll get up and see them out.
Yeah, see them into the door.
Yeah, but that's not necessary. But in terms of waiting for someone to get in their house, that's just a remnant of what your parents did. I feel like that attitude will die out.
There's too many goodbyes. We say goodbye to each other far too many times.
Too many goodbyes, not enough hellos.
No, I think there's too many hellos as well.
Really? I don't think there's enough hellos.
What I get annoyed at is if I'm, for example, seeing you two, right, tonight. I hate when a friend of mine who I've known for years and years and years, when I see them, puts his hand out to shake my hand.
Yeah, it's
I
weird.
go, absolutely not.
That's completely fine and normal.
No, it's not, because I've known you for
shake your
years.
hand.
No, but that's what I mean. Why? Why
It's a greeting.
Sorry, just go back to what Josh... I'll shake your hand.
Okay, when you're the kind of person who is like in a movie when they're talking on the phone where they don't say goodbye, they just stop talking. That's the kind of person you are. With a close friend, you just want to launch into a conversation.
You know what? If the conversation has wrapped up, just press the hang up button. It's done. You don't need formalities
You
of
need to
like
say goodbye.
bye. Why? What does that signify?
So am I allowed to say hello to you when I see you? Is that too formal, mate?
Yeah, to be honest, we don't really need that either. Why can't we just go into conversation?
So with your housemates, when you see them in the morning, do you say good morning or hello, or do you just like cut straight to the chase?
at them.
What do you do?
I hate that as well. I hate having to
What are
say
you
good
talking
morning to my
about?
housemates
Why?
and good night.
But it's really nice.
What am I wishing them? What am I wishing them? That their sleep is pleasant.
This goes again. You are such a polite, responsible man. And
that's I'm
this,
confused.
I don't see that as. I don't see what is polite. I think it's stupid. I think it is
Good night, mate.
patronizing almost.
What, you give a pat on the head as you go?
Yeah, it's facetious to be like, good night. Like what I say is going to impact on their night of sleep. Like now they're going to go,
I don't understand who has an issue with greetings and goodbyes. It's not literal. It's rhetorical, mate.
Do you know what?
Have a good night.
No, unbelievable. Rhetorical implies that it's not necessary.
No, it doesn't.
No, it
Rhetorical
doesn't.
means it doesn't require an answer. Back me up, Dion.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, it does. No. Yeah, back me up, Christian.
But it's interesting because what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing a complete role reversal. I thought that you would be taking completely opposite positions. Is this the end?
I don't. So you would prefer? Can we just try and role play that? Of if we say you're bumping into me in the morning, and we're
Okay,
good friends, we are.
wait a second.
So I'm there eating my cereal.
Bit
Christian
of
walks
context.
in.
Bit of
Go on,
context.
yes.
Did I see you the night before?
Yeah, so it's the morning.
Sure. We've
Okay.
just woken up.
Yep. So I'm in there eating
Okay.
my Cocoa Pops.
Yep.
And you wander into the kitchen, and what happens?
Are you going to be using the washing machine later on?
Good morning, Christian. Good to see you, mate.
Hey, are you using the washing machine a little bit later on?
I'll answer you later.
That's very strange.
But we don't.
And yes, I am using the washing machine.
So now I will be. So the fact that we didn't say good morning to each other, is that making you? Are you impacted? Is our friendship impacted?
some
by that?
animosity that you
love
feel towards Christian?
But I love you just the same, irrespective of a good morning.
Yeah, but it just feels strange. It's like...
Okay, do you know what kind of greetings I like? Are the greetings that Dion gives on the phone. Because they're the same and they mock greetings. Because you understand that it's just something that needs to be said just to get the formality
What is
out
it?
of the
What do
way.
I do?
I'll call you. He goes, brr, brr. He'll pick up. Hey, Porch.
So ultimately you think those kinds of things are superfluous. You don't think they're not necessary.
Entirely
So
superfluous.
yours is about economies of words and economies of actions.
I hate the idea that you can have a 4-sentence exchange before getting into the conversation, which is, hey, how you going? Good, thanks. Yourself?
No,
yeah,
no,
good,
no,
thank
no,
you.
no, 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 no.
No one ever... Okay, if
No,
I'm
no, no,
asking...
no. How you're going is very different from hello and goodbye.
Yes.
How you're going is rubbish. There's no point to that question. You don't want to have to answer that. And the problem with me is that now I try and give a serious answer to how you're going.
I love doing that.
I try and think about it. Someone will say, how you going? I say, yeah, I guess, yeah, weekend was good. Yeah, things are going... Like, I try... And I'm like, no, they just want to, yeah, I'm good.
yeah.
That's right. No one wants to hear that response because they've called you for a reason.
But some societies, like in Japan, they have set like answers for these things. Like it's all set. And in the Czech Republic, in Czech, you say when you greet someone, I can't remember what you say, and everyone in my family will be pissed off at that.
And you glazed over Japan very quickly.
Well, I'm Japanese Czech. But Christian, would you be in favour of a society that just had set answers and set greetings where you didn't have to think about it? Is it the thinking that's annoying?
No, it's the fact that we just do it because it's expected of us. No one has ever questioned the fact that we just say it. Just move on and get to the point.
So are you fine with like a version that old friends have where they've made up stupid new things? Because I have one long with a few of my mates.
Love it.
It's very long running that when we found out, when one of the law reviews we did together, we found out his dad used the phrase China plate, meaning mate. So he called his guy, this is
rhyming slang.
So he's like, this is my China, or he's a good China. So we started to do that. And over the last, I guess it's been 10 years now, it's evolved to when I see some of these friends, I go, Chinese. But I will generally wait for my friends when I drop them off to go into their house. But something that happened to me recently, I realized is another sort of example of this is when you're going into an apartment building, well, you're visiting a friend. So there's the front door of the whole building. And normally, you buzz them and they go, hello, and you go in, that's fine. But it gets really awkward and weird when there's a tenant who's also coming up to the door at the exact same time.
Who's tailgating?
Yeah, or the other way
Yeah.
round, where they're like, because if you're sexy for like 2 meters in front and you see them, and then you're kind of like, oh, well, I don't really need to buzz because they're just going to open it and I can go through.
Yep.
But they're probably thinking, who's this guy?
Yep.
Where is he from?
Yeah.
So what happened to me recently, I was going to my girlfriend's apartment, which is similar setup. There was a woman just inside the door on her phone. So I came up and I have keys, but she was right there. And so I've got the keys out and kind of thinking she could just literally open the door for me, put the keys in, open it, I walk in, and then she goes, that was a bit weird, wasn't it? I was like,
What a great
yeah, and I wanted to
reaction.
go, yeah, you could have let me in. Thanks. But I didn't. I went, yeah, it was. I just went upstairs. So she knew. She's watched me, like, literally within arm's reach.
That's beautiful. It's like a moment of self-reflection. You
Yeah.
don't get that a lot. Where
Yeah.
she was like, no, I didn't get that right.
Yeah.
But it could be nice because you could do that at houses and apartment blocks all over Melbourne. Just pull out a random set of keys, just jingle it. And she's, waiting for someone to open up. I had a similar experience. There was a delivery man out the front of my apartment block. So I went down the stairs and I got to the door and I saw this guy and he did look very shady. And he had a old kind of pizza delivery bag. And unless I'm seeing an Uber logo, an Uber Eats or a delivery
Domino's
logo,
or something, yeah.
I'm not trusting that he has good intentions to deliver a pizza. And it was also very flat. I wanted to see a little bit more volume to the bag. There was no weight to the way he was holding it. But anyway...
There's no pizza in that bag, thought Christian.
But yeah, but
Your
you know what?
Italian senses tingling.
I let him in because I was leaving. So if,
Yeah.
if he's causing any mischief, I'm gone.
Yeah. You've taken all your belongings, have you, Christian?
Yeah.
But can you imagine that of you walking through the door and you just like slamming it in front of their face? Like that is really awkward.
I love the idea that he's bringing the empty pizza bag to steal people's pizzas.
Or anything thin enough that can fit in the pizza bag.
I've got a cutlery drawer. It's great.
Woman's Day. Hey, where's my Woman's Day?
Okay, keep pushing. We're almost there.
You're doing so
Baby's
well. crowning now. Head's out. Baby's crowning. Just push and push for us. You're doing a great
going,
job. Good job. And there we go. The baby's out. Oh, it's gorgeous. There's your gorgeous son. And there it is.
Actually, couldn't do that again, could we?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, great. I just missed the shot. So, what do you reckon? What's best?
Well, I guess I could hold the baby. We could pretend it's just come out.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Wait. Why don't you just put it back inside a little bit?
Great
yeah, of
idea.
course.
Yeah, and right, so as you're putting it in, I'll do a boomerang and it'll just look like it's coming out.
And I'll
yeah,
pretend I'm
great.
in pain again.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Really, really good. You know what's really, really good? Really, really good. You know what's really, really good?
Do you know what's really good? When you're playing so well in an online video game that people accuse you of cheating. Really good. Really good.
Do you know what's really good? Cheap quality takeaway lunch options.
Really good.
Really good.
Really good. Really good.
You know what's really good? Having the hindsight to charge your phone before going out at night.
Really good. Really good. Do you know what's really good? Rapid adoption of new technologies. Really good.
Really good. Do you know what's really good? When you're hungry and remember you have leftovers in the fridge.
Really good.
Really good.
Really good.
You know what's really good? When your favourite fruit comes in seedless.
Really good. Really good. You know
Thank you for listening to Welcome to Patchwork for this week. It's been a pleasure having you. Please look us up on Facebook and tell your friends about us because that's very important to us and our parents. Josh, what did you sew in your patch this week?
My patch this week was a 90-year-old man attempting to use wooden tools whilst wearing rubber gloves. And Christian, what patch did you sew into the quilt this week?
Josh, this week I sewed into my patch, your Greek landlord breaking and entering without saying hello. Dion, what did you sew into our quilt this week?
This week I sewed an image of me locking lips with Christian grandparents' new shithouse espresso coffee machine. Thank you for listening to Welcome to Patchwork this week. I have been Dion.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Christian.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. What is that? That's a
What
bit
is it?
strange.
No, it sounds fun.
It sounds a
can't hear
bit
it.
like I'm in
A non-
electronic changer. I think
In
the
a well with Craig Willis.
the phasing's a little bit out.
What about that as a segment?
Phasing,
In the well
phasing.
with Craig Willis.
Well.
What about should we do that as a one-off? Can we just record that? Josh can decide if he puts it in. And now it's time for In the Well with Craig Willis. Oh, well.